What is up, guys? Pie Muffin here, and we are back with another Tales of Arise video. I haven't made a video on Tales of Arise in a while, mainly because there's not much information to kind of talk about here. My goal with this game is, up to release, as we get trailers, character bios, whatever you want to call it, I plan to make videos, covering the characters, covering the world, any kind of new information we get about the lore of the world, all the way up to release, and then obviously I will do an entire playthrough, like I did with Vesperia Definitive Edition. I will do an entire playthrough in Let's Play style, episodic, probably like 30-minute episodes, depending on how the pacing is of the game, when it comes out. I was thinking about doing a live stream, but the issue with a live stream is I would want to chat with the people in there, but at the same time, you can bet that there would be some trolls in the chat and probably spoil the game for me, and I do not want to get spoiled. So I think I'm better off playing through the game and uploading it as a series. But anyways, let's go ahead and let's talk about what everything we have here. And obviously, I do want to kind of, dig into, like, based on the information we get, maybe kind of speculate on some things that might happen with certain characters and all that good stuff. So let's read what it has to say here. I'm sure based on the title, you know what this video is about, so let's just dive right in. Tales of Arise release date could be surprisingly close as action RPG gets a rating in Korea. Or gets rated in Korea. So usually, and I've seen this with a lot of other games, once a game gets a rating, it's usually probably like 3-4 months out from actual release, because the whole thing with a rating is they actually have to have seen, the people who give the official ratings, I'm not sure how that whole process works, but they have to have seen enough of the game to actually rate it. You can't just have like a demo's worth of gameplay and then rate that, because that's not enough of the game to really give a actual assessment as to what kind of rating this game deserves. So let's go ahead, let's read what they have to say down here. Tales of Arise, the next title in Bandai Namco's long-running Tales series, was announced at E3 last year, but we still don't know much about it. All we really have to go on is a brief trailer that's honestly more proof of concept than anything else, but now the game's been rated in Korea. I mean, the only thing they really have that's kind of like wrong here is that we've had several trailers, but the thing is, a lot of the trailers really just, like this scene right here, this is a good example of, we really just see a lot of this Alpha Legion, in front of, I assume it's Ifrit, like this game's version of Ifrit. And that's really all we've seen as of, like, I think there's been 3 full trailers that we've seen. I think we had 2 during the summer, fall time last year, and then when we had Tokyo Game Show, we got a new trailer that still had, like, slightly, like, rehashed, kind of a way of showing the trailers we've seen with a few new scenes. And the only new thing that we really saw in that last trailer was I don't know if it's a boy or a girl yet, all we saw was the back of their head. It could just be a boy with long hair. But we saw that child with who we presume to be our mascot character, the one that was floating on their side, basically passing out when Alpha and Legion run up to them. So we really don't know anything about that character yet, and presumably, like with most Tales games, we'll probably get a good like 6-7 party members. So we technically have 3, because I'm assuming that child is probably going to be the 3rd one. Probably the character that kind of has to be mentored by some of the other characters. We might get some kind of like, I don't want to say elderly, but maybe experienced kind of older character. Like maybe someone like Raven. Rowan's a lot older than Raven, but like a Raven/Rowan character. But I guess we'll have to wait and see on that. So let's keep reading here. Here's the thing when a game okay, so they're talking about what I just said, essentially about the age rating. It often means it's relatively close to release, or at least there's enough of a game there to actually rate. Tales of Arise has always had a 2020 release window, but given we've seen so little of it, we were betting on it launching later in the year. So, obviously, if you've been following my channel, you know that Tales of Krystoria has had this horrible track record. And it's not anyone's fault. Obviously, it's just a game they really just want to make sure it can be as perfect as it can be. But it's had this track record of having a release window and then getting pushed back because they really want to keep working out to make... And it has had changes. Like, the original version of... Or the original... Yeah, version's a good word. Of Tales of Krystoria isn't what they're going to give us, because we've already seen changes to the UI between all these different streams and stuff when everything's been coming out. So there is still changes being made to the game like that. Because of Tales of Krystoria, I was thinking, obviously it's different divisions that work on it. The people who work on the mobile games don't work on the console games. It's two separate divisions, even though it's Bandai and even though it's Tales. They do have different people working on each thing. They don't have the same directors. They don't have the same, animation people, blah, blah, blah. So but you can still kind of have that worry in the back of your head that's like, oh, if Bandai's already having issues with their mobile game, maybe they'll have issues with a game like this. Honestly, originally, I was thinking Tales of Arise would be, because if you look at Tales of Berseria, it came out in Japan in, I believe it was August or October of 2016. And then obviously in the West, we got it, I think it was like the last day of January, so I'd count it as like a February release of 2017. Which, everything's been kind of hinted at that this will be a worldwide release. It seems like, sorry, I had a little cough. It seems like with Vesperia Definitive Edition, that was kind of something they started to want to do, because that was I think there was like a day. I think Japan got like a day early, but then we got it over here the next day. So if it's like that in Japan as well, that's not a big deal for Tales of Arise. But it does seem like they kind of want to be like, because a lot of JRPGs have been starting to do that, where they want to. Dragon Quest is now doing it, kind of. Obviously, the original Dragon Quest XI came out, I think, over a year before we got it in the West, maybe 2 years. But then the Definitive Edition version came out worldwide all at the same time. So hopefully, I think Persona is the only franchise that's still wanting to be like behind. But everything's pointing to Tales of Arise having a worldwide release, which is great for me and a lot of other people, because I'm sure a lot of people will remember with Berseria, we got those trailers for the like Edna scene, which didn't even end up being Edna. And, the Zaveid stuff. We knew about Zaveid and some of the other trailers that came out in gameplay videos, because people had it for like half a year. And it was really hard to kind of avoid those spoilers. So it'll be really nice to not have to worry as much about avoiding spoilers here. So let's go ahead. Let's read this last thing. Could Tales of Arise be arriving a lot sooner than we thought? It's possible, but unless Bandai Namco suddenly kicks its marketing campaign into gear over the next few weeks, we're skeptical. Still, stranger things have happened, and either way, we're looking forward to seeing more. Do you think Tales of Arise is close? Blah, 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 blah. So, I still think, and I've already kind of said it, I think a late spring, early summer release is realistic, but I also need to see, they need to release, it kind of like they said down here, they need to kick in the marketing campaign, because if you actually look, especially the Western side of the, here's the thing, Tales accounts on Twitter, Tales of You, I think it is what it's called. We have the Krystoria global Twitter. They really only post when they have information to post. So there's not really a marketing campaign going on. And Tales games have kind of always had this issue where they just kind of post when they have information and don't really post consistently to keep people interested in the game. It would be a lot smarter, I feel like, if they gave little bits of information, maybe like every week, every other week, reveal something new. But obviously that's not how this is going to kind of pan out. I think the official Tales English Twitter hasn't posted since November. I think there was some post about the Rapide figurine, there was a giveaway or something. Or there was a sale for it or something like that. So they really haven't posted since November, which obviously isn't great. But we also haven't gotten any Tales of Arise information since then. So a lot of people are just kind of being left in the dark as to what's kind of going on with this game at the moment. But I don't want to say it's a month away or even 2 months away, just because we haven't had any of the other we haven't had the other characters revealed. We don't know who's singing the opening. We don't know what the opening looks like. And all that stuff is obviously something that usually gets revealed for Tales games before they come out. So I really don't see the game coming out any sooner than, I want to say May. I'd say May would be the earliest I would see this game come out. So what is that? That's like 4 months from now. If they suddenly kick stuff into gear, next week they start with a new trailer, and then over the next couple months we get, the website update. They'll probably have a website like they did with Berseria, where they have character bios and all that stuff. We'll probably get character bio for Alphen, Xion, and that new character we saw. And then we also have like 3 other characters. We don't know who the antagonist is. There's been no kind of hint at that. We literally have no idea. We just know that the world that Xion comes from basically looks down on Alphen's world as like lesser people and essentially just rules over them. And Alphen and Xion want to essentially change that fate. But we don't have any information besides that as to why it's like this, who's really in charge of the other world to kind of make who set up this rule that these 2 worlds have to live this specific way. We really don't have a lot of information yet, which to some people could be a good thing because a lot of people just want to jump into a JRPG with no information. They don't want to know the support characters. They don't want to know any of that stuff. They just want to have bare bones. Like, a lot of people would just be happy knowing that these 2 are our main characters. Well, Alphen's our main character, but Xion's like the supporting main character. And that the basis is there are these 2 worlds that have different ideals and that they have to change it. A lot of people would just be fine with that. I would like to see the other character designs because as of right now, I think these are fine. I feel like Xion's design is a little too Lila for me. I feel like they could have done something a little bit different, but she does fight with a gun, which I guess is cool. And then I'm really hoping that this look, I hope his mask, like, gradually as the game is going on, gets ripped off more and more, and I hope that, like, mid to late game, I'd say, like, 60% of the way through the story, he's just not wearing the mask anymore. Because, that's not really a look I'm really into, but, maybe some people like it. Maybe some people don't like seeing a character's full face, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Excuse me. But anyways, that's going to be it. Like I said, I think it's going to be a late, at the earliest. I'm not saying this is going to happen. My original thoughts before seeing this post, or even knowing that the Korea gave an age rating, was that it would probably be between October and December kind of a release. But, if it comes out, late spring, early summer, I'd totally be fine with that. But let me know what you guys think down below. Are you excited for this game? What are you excited most for to be revealed in the next trailer we get? I know that there is what was it? There's some kind of, I don't know if there's some kind of convention that's going to be happening in the next little bit that I think it's mentioned that Tales of Arise might have something there. They may just replay the same old trailer, but they also may have a new one. Plus, we do have the Tales General stream on the 20th, which is 10 days from now, which could be another chance for them to reveal some more information on Tales of Arise. And I assume we'll get some stuff on Tales of the Rays and Christoria and Asteria as well. But like I said, let me know what you guys think down below. Don't forget to subscribe for more if you're new to the channel. If you're excited for Tales of Arise, you want to stay up to date with any information on it. I will not be covering spoilers ever in this. Just official information that Bandai puts out will be stuff I cover on the channel. Any spoilers will literally just be in my playthrough as we go through it, and we learn it ourselves. That's going to be it, guys. Thank you all for watching. I will see you all next time. Have a wonderful day, everyone.